Forest education is extremely important to the landowner and actually all the community. I mean, I feel that our forest is just a portion of the bigger picture. So I think that education, not only for the landowner, but for the communities around it, are just as important. My name is Steve Hermansen. We're here in Bland County, Virginia. We're on our farm. My wife and I purchased this farm back in 1999. Our main purpose for the purchase of the farm at that time was to have a place to ride our dirt bikes and ATVs where we could, be away from basically civilization and just have a place to come and chill out and have a good time. So we started looking for land, naturally found this place, which was in quite a bad state of repair. It had been a family farm for well over 100 years, and the folks that were farming it really weren't into farming anymore, so they started to let the fence lines go down and the forests grew up, and the roads weren't being maintained and so forth and so on. And so we decided that this was going to be like the perfect place for us because we could ride and enjoy the land. Well, shortly thereafter, after moving up here in 2003, we realized that the trees don't stop growing and the weeds don't stop growing and the grass doesn't stop growing just because we leave and go back to South Carolina. So we decided that we needed to do something about it. We probably attended our first forest seminar back in 2005 after we had moved up to Virginia here full time. And we learned about the forest stewardship programs that were available. We learned about forestry and farming. We learned about soil.
When the trees are small like this, their bark is really smooth and tight. And so these trees typically get to be 5, 6, 7 inches in diameter, about the size that they have to get before they can start producing chestnut. Once they get to that size, their bark starts to split and furrow. So little wounds are created in the bark. The chestnut blight is fungus. And so the spores get into those furrows in the bark and infect the tree.
Virginia Tech was instrumental in educating us about the necessary things that were needed on the farm or the forest. We started attending more and more seminars. We did some workshops, which helped us manage the farm, but also kind of bring more life to the farm. This land is the farm actually consists of about 2/3 of it is forest land. Some of it that hadn't been timbered, we later found out in probably 60 to 70 years since the last timber harvest was done. So we learned about timber harvesting, again through workshops and some seminars that we attended, and finally hired a forester to help us put together our first timber sale, which worked out fantastic. The guidance of a forester enabled us to not only reach our goal as the timber harvest, but the additional income helped us actually do some improvements on the land, which was important. And then we found that the trails and the roads that were needed to get into the forest needed to be maintained. So again, through education, the extension office actually, we learned about the different management techniques of the roads and the meadows and naturally the hay fields. And then finally in 2007, we decided that we wanted to get some animals to help us keep things in check. That was our first experience with goats. It was a eye-opening experience, I guess you could say, because they have minds of their own, really, and they want to do whatever they want to do. So then through taking more educational programs about fencing and controlling the livestock really helped out immensely when it came to learning how to do it and what not to do, how to put it together. And so then I was able to take the goats from being basically a nuisance to becoming a tool to help me manage the forest. We try to keep things as natural as possible around here, and that's why we picked the goats. since then, we've just been doing more and more improvements. We participated in a reforestation program by planting some white pines. Being that we were from the coastal area, the pine trees were something that we felt were missing on this land. We had plenty of hardwoods and softwoods, but pine trees wise didn't have a whole lot. So we decided that it would be a twofold benefit. One is to actually have some timber to be able to harvest later on in life, and the aesthetics of the pines. You know, we can go up on different places on the mountain, and I mean, it looks like a national park. I mean, there's such beauty there. So I mean, it's like a total stress relief. I believe, you know, health-wise, it's actually helped our health because of that. They're not making land anymore, so we felt it was very important for us to take care of the land that we own and be good stewards of the land while using it for things that we enjoyed, but also making sure that it would be here for generations to come.